Welcome to another episode of the Starter Girls Podcast with your host, Jennifer Loading.
And Brianna Drellis. And together we are the Starter Girls.
Where extraordinary decisions produce extraordinary results. These are our friends, these are your friends, and they are living extraordinary. Today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills, photographer of Glad Models Agency. If you are here in the Dallas or surrounding area and looking for some photography work, check out Walt Mills. You can learn more about him and his work at photosbywalt.com. We also want to give a shout out to our friends at the Studio Dallas. The Studio Dallas is the best kept secret in the Dallas podcasting world. If you are looking for a studio with top-notch technology, video, and audio recording capabilities, as well as a production team to make things go smoothly, then check out the Studio Dallas. You can learn more about them through us at startergirls@gmail.com.
And head over to startergirls.com to pick up your free gift. We created an opportunity for you to level up your decision-making skills. Plus, we want to keep in touch outside of this podcast. So all you got to do is head over to startergirls.com, pick it up there, and let us know how we can keep in touch with you.
All right. I think we're ready to get started. Yes. All right. Today's a great day to be brave. You might as well start now. You have the power to change your circumstances any day you decide. Let today be that day. Rise up. Be amazing. Be you. Do you. All right, I am super excited. As you can tell, we have a guest in studio today, and I'm so excited because she's one of my good friends, and I've known her for many years and watched her kind of navigate single adulthood all the way to being married and having kiddos, and now creating her own business. And so let me tell you guys real quick a little bit about her. Dana Hentschel is the creator and founder of Arranging Joy. As a teen, Dana says she would organize her friends' clothes and closets. I'm like totally impressed because I did that for a little bit and like, no, that's not my thing. This hobby became her passion. Dana is a mom to 2 young children and therefore understands what it is like to be busy, like all of us, right? Yep. And so she wanted to use her gifts to help busy people and their families bring order and peace to their spaces. So welcome to the Starter Girls Podcast, Dana. We're so excited to have you here.
So fun.
Isn't it? Yeah, so we get to just like kick back and have conversation.
Yeah,
you know?
I love it.
Now, off of I guess, it seems like every time we meet now, it's like at a restaurant or via Zoom or like some other place. So now we're in the studio, right?
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, okay, so I want you to tell us how this came about because you just launched this business like in the last 6 months. Am I correct? Okay, so tell us kind of how this unfolded for you.
Yeah, so kind of you mentioned one of the cool things about just figuring out more about who you are, what your passions are, is kind of having those light bulb moments. And for me, that really happened about August of last year. My grandmother passed away unexpectedly, and her and my grandfather had been living in their house for like over 60 years. And we were going through and just trying to figure out, where things were going to go, what things needed to be donated. And in that moment, I just realized I have been doing this my whole life and didn't even realize it. But there's something like therapeutic for me to be able to go in and help organize spaces. And I realize in every single job I've ever had, I've always been drawn towards organizing things, people, teams. Like I realized one of my first jobs out of high school was working at Claire's. And just even organizing the earring rack, like that's so OCD, and I know like that's just like some people are like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But I don't know, there's something really calming about that, and just seeing like the finished product of it all lining up, and you could see what everything was, and so that just kind of got me on this journey of realizing I'm doing this in my own house with my kids' stuff. I've been doing this for friends. And this was even before like home edit kind of started exploding. And I just realized I've been doing this and I love helping people. So why not do this in people's spaces?
Yeah, that's so awesome. It's when you were talking about closets, and I want to go back to that really quick because I remember being a kid and like on Fridays, I would go in my room and I'd be like, okay, I have 2 closets in my room. They're like side by side. And I would load everything out of my closet because I'd be like, okay, this weekend I'm going to clean out my drawers. I'm going to clean out my closet. And I'd get it all out. And then I'd be like, this sucks. Like, I got to put this all back now. Like, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. So I think that's awesome. But I can totally get that because I feel like I used to kind of be that way. And then and even now, like I don't really like to organize, but sometimes I'll take little pieces of things, like little areas in my house, like that are small enough that I go, okay, I can't tackle 500 things here, but I can, like, that little nook over there by where the stove and the wall meet, you know,
Yes.
that little, let me organize that little piece. But I think you're a gem, because there's a lot of us that need that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm literally just thinking that, like, you are providing such a service to so many people who that would really stress them out.
Yeah.
You know, and you actually enjoy it, you know? So it's like, that's exactly what you should be doing, because you're helping others, and in such an interesting way, right? Because people wouldn't think, like, a lot of people probably wouldn't think they'd overlook it. Yeah. But you didn't. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. Well, and it's so interesting, right? We've all been on our homes, like, way more than we ever have, because of being in the pandemic. And so I think a lot of people are realizing, gosh, if I'm in my space for this long, I maybe I don't know how to bring order to it, but I want peaceful places. You know, like, that's where we all thrive. You know, yes, we can thrive in chaos in certain times, but, like, longevity wise, you know, we have to have places that are calming, that allow for creativity, that allow just for, you know, community, and just feeling comfortable. And so it's been interesting kind of navigating, helping people in this particular season, knowing that people are in their homes and they're wanting spaces that mean something to them, that they feel, like, comfortable in.
Sure. So do you find when you're doing this, because I'm kind of thinking too, like, you know, hoarders, because we had to talk about that. Now we did a live, and one of the things I said is that my parents always say that I don't throw things out. I don't go, like, I'm not a person to go buy things, and, like, I have family members that actually buy 4 or 5 of things and will return them when they get, you know, like, they'll stack them. I'm like, why do you have 5 Furbies in your in there? Like, do you need all them, you know? I don't do that, but I have a hard time getting rid of things that people give me, because they have sentimental value. And even if I don't use them, it's like, we have a foosball table right now in the back of our house that nobody's using, that my dad bought. And it's like, we're like, do we get rid of the foosball? I'm like, no, my dad bought the foosball. I can't get rid of the foosball table. Right? That's what I do. So do you find, like, when you're working with people, do you ever have to, like, make them, like, get rid of some things?
Like, make peace with...
Yes. And is it hard for them to let that go? Or are they, most of them, pretty much like, hey, okay, you've got this. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, so let's be honest. Like, it's hard even for me sometimes, because we do have emotional attachments to our things. And so I think that's why having a professional organizer come in is so helpful, because they don't have that same emotional attachment, you know? And I think sometimes we need permission to let things go. And so when I'm working with clients, I kind of have a really simple 3-step process. And the first step is letting items go. And sometimes that means, hey, it's broken. It's beyond repair. We really just need to throw it in the trash.
We're not super gluing it anymore.
Let me help you with this. But then there's other times where it's like, hey, this was loved really well, and it's in great condition, and somebody else could really love this. So let's donate it. That's like, good. Just because you don't necessarily have to throw something away. There's other people that would want this or need it, and so let me help you take that to a donation center. So, yeah, I mean, if you were to come into my house right now, there would be certain items where it's like, I'm struggling to let this go. Yeah. But, you know, we all have that. Because we're all human, and we all have some type of emotional, good or bad, emotional attachment to things.
What's the third thing?
So it's my 3L system. So it's let it go, like items together, and love things well.
Okay.
And so what I've noticed in kind of a lot of these professional organizing shows or different books is there was like 4 or 5-step process. And for me, I'm like, I don't even remember.
That's
like,
too many steps.
Yeah, it's too many steps. I don't have enough time. Like, it was just overwhelming. So for me, I always come in and work with clients and say, hey, I want to be able to have a repeatable, memorable process for you, so that after I'm gone, you can maintain this.
I like it.
So I came up with the 3 L's. Yeah, so I came up with the 3 L's. Let it go. You know, I have a almost 5-year-old. We're all into Frozen right now, so it it was like, oh, that's easy. Let it go. But yeah, let things go that you don't need, that you don't want. Like things together, putting things of the same product or function in the same place. You know, a lot of times in our house,
That's nice.
we've got things spread all over.
Right.
And really, in order to maintain good systems, is really bringing, like, for example, all the batteries, you know, put them all in one place.
Yeah.
You're then going to know what you have.
With the flashlights.
With the flashlights. It's no good if you don't know where the flashlights are.
Yeah.
Right? We got
Yeah.
the batteries.
Yeah, but put it all together, because then you're not trying to wander around. Like, everything has to find a place.
Yeah.
And once you kind of establish that place, and that's kind of where we come in and help you, then it's so much easier because everybody in the family knows where something is. You're not buying things extra because you know where it is, or you buy only what you need.
Right.
And then the whole third L is loving things well. It's just this idea of, once you establish the things that you want to keep, you know you're going to love them well because they're things that bring you joy. They're things that you feel confident in, or that bring you comfort. And so we take care of things that bring value to us. And so there's this idea of, if we create a system and we create something that that is also pretty but functional, you're going to take care of it more.
That's good. I like it. She thought that through. Okay, and so the thing that I really like that you said is, because I talk about the same thing in coaching, is that I want to teach you what I know so that you don't need me forever. So when I'm done with you, you know how to maintain it.
Yes, that's my biggest takeaway that I want for people is, I know people watch, you know, Marie Kondo, and they'll watch Home Edit, and yes, wouldn't we all just love this opportunity for someone to come in and just completely create this beautiful system, you know, with all these beautiful bins, and to some degree we do that, but at the end of the day, I don't live there. You do.
Right.
And so for me, the win as an organizer coming into your space is that it works for you. It works for your family. And so one of the things we like to do is like a 6-month checkup. Just checking in with people to say, how is this working? You know, because at the end of the day, I can come in and create this beautiful system, but if it doesn't function for you, then that's not winning for you or for me.
100%. That's good. I like it, Dana. You thought all this through.
Good job.
I love it. Well, listen, I told Brianna this, but to our audience, Dana and I got to work together. So I know how you operate and how you work, and I love it because it's systematic. And she was always the person that things had to make sense. Like, they had to have this orderly fashion and make sense, which is so good because I can absolutely get that. Brianna's a lot like that too, very systematic, and which is good. We like all that. So you're speaking all of our languages.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good.
You know, when I had to help clean out my mother's place, and my mother is along the lines of the family member that buys the 5
stocks things up. Yes, I have so many of those.
Yes, I mean, and it's
why do you have 5 ceiling fans in there? You put them on the wall.
It's like 5 pairs of the same earrings, or because, you know, whatever she got
one
in
break,
HSN.
she got another pair. They just,
yes.
Yeah.
So when we were cleaning her place out, the amount of brand new inboxes, things that we acquired from that, and the amount of paper that we had to throw away. So for me personally, that's almost like it's a bit of a trigger for me, because if I start seeing paper piling up in my house, I get fearful that I'm turning into a paper hoarder.
Yeah.
And I literally am like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm throwing it all away.
She's like
I'm
gonna be paper hoarders.
I am throwing it all
So
away
funny.
because it can't be good to have all that paper.
So
Right?
funny.
Yeah.
So I don't mind throwing things away, but sometimes I probably throw away things that are important. I mean, I probably do.
Yeah.
At this point.
I go through like back and forth with that, because I'll have moments where, like, even like I think about like clothing, you know, like when you go through your clothing, that is one of the hardest things, because you'll be like, I got this shirt, and I'm like, but I might get a pair of pants, and I'm now be looking for for a gray shirt to match, and that might be the shirt that matches, but I haven't worn it in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, and so so then what I'll do is I'll go in there, and then one day I'll be like, okay, start pulling the hangers, and I just start pulling everything off the hanger, and I throw it in the bag, and I'm done. But then this stuff will sit there forever, and I can't get rid of it. So it's very much, and I think what you're doing, yes, if somebody comes in and there's no emotional attachment, then you can actually have a little more freedom to let that go, because they're going to be holding that up and going, do you really need this?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you're like, okay. Guilty, but just throw it out.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And doing it in like obviously a really loving way.
Yes,
You know,
right,
like there's definitely a level of trust, you know,
Sure.
that we have to build with people to say, like, hey, we are gonna push you, but you know, not so much out of your comfort zone, but we are gonna be like, hey, do you really need this item? Or you know,
I'd be like, turn Dana loose. Don't even show me, Dana. Just clean it up.
All right.
So one of my friends, it's so cute because one of my friends I network with, I won't say her, she's going to probably see this and she'll know I'm talking about her, but she put a post up the other day. It was so cute. She had organized her shoes and put them into boxes and put a picture of the shoe on the outside. And I was so impressed. Yeah. I was like, wow, she's got it all set with the picture. Yeah. So she knows exactly what shoes are in each tub. I'm like, man, that's good. Yeah. Because my thing would be getting them back in the tubs each time. I'd be like, oh, I'm tired of on the floor, you know? Yeah. Because I go in my closet now, and that's what happens. They're all in a pile. And every once in a while, a dog goes in there, and then I have to be like, where's my other Converse out? Like, I got the red pair. Where's the other ones? Yeah. Because the dog's got them moved. Yeah. So I get impressed when people are able to, you know, do you have your shoes like that? No?
Well,
she does. She does something.
Not with pictures. That's not.
But you got them organized.
I mean, I try.
She's good.
But I also I have a very small. I'm in Richardson too. We have a small house, small closet. Yeah. I don't have a lot of space. So like once I run out of space, I got to get rid of some shoes. So good. I don't really have a whole lot of shoes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't either. I got a shoe rack on my door, so I do have like stuff in there. Yes, which is organized. Yeah. It's just my stuff on the ground. It's like my tennis shoes and stuff.
And I would say too, nowadays there's so many cool systems and products out on the market. I mean, of course you have Container Store, but some of my favorite places to find organizing products is Amazon. I found a ton of things.
Can you tell us like some of your top favorite organizing products? Because I could use some, but I wouldn't even know what to search for on Amazon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, some people go back and forth on, do you really need bins? But I'm here to tell you, if something has a home, it's more likely to go back to that home.
My shoes. A bin.
Yeah. So, a couple of my favorite things. I'll tell you a couple places that I like besides Amazon. Target has some great products. The other store that I really like, and again, I also want to try to be budget friendly for people. Sure. So not only is it like my time to come in and help organize, but also I try to figure out, do they already have things that we can use? If they don't, then what are things that we can get? Sure. And I, again, you know, want to keep budget in mind, but also give them good quality stuff too. That's not going to fall apart. Sure. But at home is also a really one of my favorite places to go. There's so many different things there. But a couple things that I really enjoy using is there's a company called M Design. And a lot of their products are on Amazon and actually in Target too.
M Design. Don't forget that.
Yeah, M Design. But, you know, they've got some great things for kitchens as far as Lazy Susans, as far as maximizing corner spaces, can organizers. You know, we've done everything from kitchens to pantries to, we did a playroom for 10 grandkids, all have under the age of 10. Wow. I mean, we've done a lot of different things, master closets, things like that. So depending upon the space, we kind of have some go-to products that we really like to use.
I'm getting a bin for my shoes. Yeah. I'm going to get a bin to throw my shoes. I think this is going to be great. And my dog won't be trying to load them out of my car. She likes my slippers.
Yeah. Well, and so, like, for example, for shoes, we've done some where they're clear, like your friend, and labeling it. And again, something about it being contained and labeled, you are more likely to put it back there because you know that's where it goes. Yeah. But then there's also, like, some really cool, we did a master closet, and we found she had this built-in like shoe rack with adjustable shelves. Okay. And so what we found were these really cool shoe organizers that basically stack one on top of the other to maximize the space, because this woman had an amazing shoe collection. And at first it was just, you know, they were just side by side on the shelf. But when we brought in this product where it was stacked one on top of the other, it gave her so much more room, and we're actually able to put all of her shoes in the shelf, in the built-in.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So
That's amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
getting excited listening to
I know.
you.
I'm getting kind
Yeah.
of fired
You're
up to
like-
go
I know,
organize.
Brianna's like thinking, I'm going to go home and organize.
Yeah.
What
This is
can
right-
I throw
right up
away
her alley.
tonight?
And I'm over there thinking, which one of you can I get to come over to organize for me?
Yeah.
It's so funny. My son loves doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I came home yesterday. I went networking last night, and I came home and my kitchen was like spotless, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, who cleaned the kitchen? And then
Right.
this morning couldn't find my collagen,
Yeah.
couldn't find the dog treats because so I have to start digging through all the cabinets because when he cleans, he does that. Like he
Yeah.
will clean everything off and start putting it up.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is sometimes he will organize things, but sometimes he doesn't. And then when he gets in there and he's really organizing, he does a great job because he'll start like
Yeah.
getting everything set up right. But when he's just like cleaning, then I can't find. I'm like, the other day I'm looking for my dumbbells. I'm like,
Yeah.
where are my weights at? Because he cleaned
Yeah.
the table off, you know? So I think what you're doing is
Yeah.
awesome. I think it's great. There's definitely a need for it. So I know there's a lot of busy people that can use what you're doing. So
Yeah.
what is the I want to ask kind of a fun question, I guess. What's the best part of this for you? What do you love about this, being able to do this? Is it the entrepreneur side, or is it really, because I know you love doing the organizing, but is it just kind of the
Yeah.
freedom? Because you've been an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
you know, off and on, because we
Yeah.
work together, so you
Yeah.
kind of had that background in that. And just what's this best part for, say,
Yeah.
somebody out there that's maybe thinking about creating something?
Yeah. I think for me, every project is unique. And so for me, it's kind of like a puzzle. I get to sit there and kind of figure out what's the best way to make this space work. I spend a lot of time listening to the clients as far as like what's frustrating them, what are their greatest needs, what do they want in the space, and then just being able to do some research on products, figure out, you know, aesthetically too. Like I want it to be functional, but I also want it to be something where you walk in and you're like, oh man, I love this. It feels good. I
Sure.
like being in this space. I like using this space, you know. And so I think there's a creativity aspect to it that I really enjoy as well. So one of the things that I do with my clients is I create a Pinterest board for them, because there's something so powerful about like visualization. And I think that's where we get hung up a lot, is that we can't see what this space could be or how it needs to work. And so that's where having somebody come in objectively that doesn't have emotional attachment, that can see something clearly, you know, hasn't been living there, can say, hey, I think this is how this could work. And I also get the chance to look at what are some of their aesthetics in their home. You know, for some people, they want clear containers. For some people, they want it to be in some type of basket where they can't see things, you know, and I think there's a need for both and. But what's been really fun is to kind of create and customize each project based on that person.
Yeah, I could see that.
So-
well, and I think too that you said being the puzzle, because I'm thinking about, you know, I was reading a book, Mark Manson, not too long ago, and he was talking about how we find happiness in solving problems.
Yeah.
And basically, so when you said you get to
Yeah.
solve that, it's like you're going in and solving this
Yes.
puzzle for somebody, which I think is so good. But
Yeah.
I would be the person that would not care whether the bucket is clear or not. I just want convenience. I want
Yeah.
it just to be put up, get it where it needs to go,
Yeah.
and easy for me. That would be
For
me. I
sure.
could care less what color those buckets are.
Yeah.
They could be green, orange, yellow, whatever. So, I mean, if they're in the closet, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to get a bucket. I'm going to
Yeah.
get me a bin for my shoes.
Yeah.
So you've inspired me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get those Converse and all them tennis shoes off the floor of
Yeah.
the flip flops and get them in a bucket.
Yeah.
So this is good.
You know what I really want? I want one of those things in front of your couch that could be is it an ottoman?
Mm.
Well, but it has storage.
Yeah.
Like it opens up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
You could hide all kinds of stuff in
I
there. Like you'd be
know.
like, I got my stash down
We
in
have
there.
like crazy games. Like I need a place
Yeah.
for those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Things
Blankets.
that are multi-functioning are always a win.
Yeah.
I love especially furniture.
Mhm.
That's that way. And yeah.
This is
Games,
good.
yeah, games are a fun thing. So when we did the playroom for that those 10 grandkids, tons of board games, tons of card games. And one of my favorite things to use for that are these mesh zipper pouches.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are looking at me right now thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to get rid of a box that a game comes in. But I'm telling you, that's what you should do.
Yeah,
Because
I'm liking the mesh.
Yeah, boxes,
They
they
take up
they
a lot of
fall
space.
apart.
Yeah, and they take
up
up
a lot of
space.
space. And it's so much easier to lose pieces of a game.
When they're in a box because the corners rip.
Exactly. And so one of the things we did, it took a little coaching, but we did that. And I'm telling you, it saved up so much space in that playroom. And now it's like the kids even know because we've labeled, you know, and even sometimes it's fun to cut out like maybe the little picture of sorry, you know, and put it as the label. And then you've got those zipper pouches and
Brilliant.
Mesh
Okay, guys.
Zipper pouches.
Mesh zipper bags
Amazon?
for all your games.
Is this Amazon? Mesh
is.
zipper
I'm
pouches.
thinking about it too. We got a ton of games.
I
too.
need
I'm
help.
like,
yeah.
This is awesome.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
My everything just opened up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the brain dump tonight.
Yeah.
The brain dump of the whole house tonight's happening in
I
Brianna's
want
house.
to see these photos.
Yeah, it's happening to
I wanna
Brianna.
know.
She's going to have it going. What room are we organizing tonight?
Yeah.
Brain dump. And what's going in the mesh
Yes.
bags tonight?
Mesh
This
bags.
is so good. Okay,
Yeah.
so Dana, I want to ask you this. For anybody that, because I love to talk about mindset and success,
Yeah.
obviously. For anybody that is wanting to maybe be an entrepreneur or create something new, what is a piece of advice you would give to somebody starting out?
I think you got to look at what your passions are. You got to start with what things drive you crazy, what things get you fired up, good or bad. I think looking at those things, seeing how you're gifted, you know, what brings you energy, how do you like helping people, looking at those kind of areas of your life, I think helps you figure out like what is it that makes you tick? What is it that you can, you know, help and, you know, with other people?
Yeah.
And so, you know, don't try to reinvent the wheel. You are who you are, and you know, figure out what those giftings are, and then lean into that. I mean, that's where I had that light bulb moment. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this since I was a teenager. Like, but it's taken me this long to kind of put those puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny because I think that happens for a lot of people. It's not
Yeah.
always, you know, the paths are not linear. You have to kind of explore and dive into different things and figure out, like you said, I think it's, you know, matching the passion with your gifts and finding the need. Like what is the need for other people that you can serve? What are you passionate about, and where do your gifts, you know, lie, and matching all those together and
that's trying things.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you know.
Well, that's how
because
you
we've
figure
been-
it out.
Yeah, because we've been friends for so long.
yes.
We know we've done all these different things.
Yes.
And some things have been successful and
Yes.
some things haven't. And I think that's where I finally came to is like, when I was doing this, I really liked this piece. But I didn't really like this piece. And
right.
so once you kind of start narrowing those things down, it's like, oh, okay.
You have those light bulb moments. You're like, now I know what I did not like about that thing I was in, but this thing I really like. Now, how do I take that piece and bring it to here?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I talk about those too, because I had that too, kind of when I tell the story about when I was on our treadmill. We no longer have the treadmill, but I was on there and I was thinking about my career, what I had done and all the things I liked about it. And it was like all of a sudden this light bulb goes off and I'm like, now I know why I feel like I've been swimming upstream for 20 something years. I figured out what it is that I don't enjoy about what I'm doing. Now I got to figure out, how do I take the piece that I'm really good and I like and move that into something that I can get passionate behind. So good for you. I'm excited and proud of you. You're awesome.
you.
Doing good stuff. So
Fun.
how long has your business been in force now, or in play?
I guess we officially launched January.
So okay, so you're coming up on 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow, yay.
Congratulations.
Well, you'll have to come back on after you like hit a year or so and let us know what's rocking, if things
Yeah.
are changing, like you're doing more stuff, more ideas. I mean, you know, the mesh bags, Brianna's all over that right now.
And I love sharing tips too.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things where, you know, it's not like, oh, you know, I've gotta get her to do this project. Like as I'm going, I'm always sharing things with people, you know.
awesome.
So
That's good. That's good. Okay, so
Thank
if
you so much.
Yeah, if our listeners want to find you, where do we send them to?
yeah, so you can find me arrangingjoy.com is my website. I'm also, I kind of told you guys, on Pinterest. So that's where you can find a lot of products that I've used.
At Arranging Joy on
At
Pinterest.
Arranging
Okay,
Joy.
great.
Also Instagram, Facebook page.
Very
You
cool.
can find me there.
We'll make sure too when this goes out that we have all the links and get you tagged and everything so they know where to get you. So yeah, definitely check it out. I know Brianna's going to be on there. Like, look, she's going to be like, I got to go check out. Yeah. She's got amazing pictures on her.
I'm very excited
good.
about
the pictures
this.
look really good. I
Thank
like
you.
your pictures on your. I don't know who did them, but you did. They're very good. They look good on there, and I love that you captured some of the things that you did because I think that's important for people to see your work. So.
Yeah, it's so helpful. I think going back to the whole visualization piece, before and afters. Sharing products that we've used. So you will go and see the zipper mesh pouches. You'll see what I'm talking about. Because I did a little post on doing my kids' games.
That's so great.
You can go check that out.
I'm going to check it
We
out.
ought to do some before and after pictures so we can see your mesh bags.
Tag
I have
me,
a
I
lot
wanna
of
see it.
games too. We need to try to do that because I probably need to clear some of ours out because some of ours are like really like from when the kids were really little, and they're not so little anymore.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, this has been fun. It's been
Thanks
good.
for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to catch up with you and Brianna got to meet you.
Yeah.
That you two got to connect.
Pleasure
So
meeting you, and thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Well, we do want to say to our listeners, of course, if you enjoy our show, please be sure you give us a rating both on Facebook and iTunes because we can't do this without you. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube.
And don't forget to head over to startergirls.com and pick up your free gifts so that we can keep in touch.
Absolutely. All right. And I think we're ready to close this out. We got a few thoughts we're going to leave you with. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. So throw out the stuff you don't need. Okay?
And buy mesh bags.
And buy mesh bags. Just make the decision. All right. And the last thing, in order to have success, you must start. And every start begins with a decision. You guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We will see you next time.